Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I think we're just going to wait another minute or two just for the last minute attendees that are joining us. We have a large group of you guys here with us for the town hall meeting, and we thank you for taking some time out of your day. Give us another minute and we'll get kicked off. Wonderful. We saw that number jump up a little more. It is 4:05 p.m. We're going to kick off the March 2024 Town Hall meeting. Thank you for being here. As I said before, we will be hearing today from Jeannie Mendelson, Natalie Hood, and Wayne Ivasich on the staff and advisory council side. And I believe Jeannie is starting us off. Jeannie.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first town hall of 2024. We're thrilled. It looks like we have almost 100 instructors here with us. So we'll go ahead and get started. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jeannie Mendelson. I am the Vice President of Education and Events for PHTA, which encompasses the CPO program, as well as our Builder program, our service pathway, and all the other education we bring to you through all the different modes of delivery, in person, live, virtual, and on demand. So again, thrilled to be here to work in conjunction with you, all of our great instructors, to push out this important education. I'm going to get started on a high level, and then I'll turn it over to Wayne, who is the CPO Advisory Council Chair. But I just wanted to give an overview of what's going on with PHTA. Hopefully all of you know that our three pillars are educate, elevate, and advocate. Under the educate banner, I'm not going to read all the slides, but there's a lot of exciting things on the docket for this year. We are looking to expand our LMS offerings and build out more education pathways, as well as by job family. So there's real succinct career pathways through that on-demand platform. We are increasing the number of skilled professionals that go through education, and that includes the CPO program, as well as the other education programs that we offer. We want to redesign and have new tools for members of the industry through the LMS and through other avenues to further success. And we are working on research and other things to help our members become or stay competitive. So really exciting. On the docket, we have some new offerings for education that you'll be seeing. We've launched this year a new remodel course through the Genesis Build program. We're launching a superintendent course later this year. We are launching some on-demand courses. We'll talk more about launching the new POP course later, but a lot of exciting things. We continue to build the education portfolio across the board. Now we'll move on to advocate. This is our second pillar for the organization, and we are looking to raise awareness for key industry initiatives. In the last year, we really worked on the framework of the technical side of the house. So there's new committees. We're making sure that all of the education matches and making sure we're singing from the same song sheet, if you will, across the board, and that's out of the technical house. We continue to increase the positive effect of Step Into Swim, granting a total of 500,000 children to access swimming lessons, and continue to serve as a resource to expand the industry through coalitions, partnerships, and working with other people in and out of the industry to expand our footprint. And last but not least, we continue to look to elevate. We have launched our workforce development program. We have, if you haven't checked it out, the website is great. Continue to get new jobs every day. People are finding jobs and being connected with companies on that website. We have two, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting, oh my goodness, training programs that were launched. One one for the builder side and one for the service side. Apprenticeship programs, I'm sorry, everyone, that's the word I was looking for. And continue to roll out member programs such as these to connect people with their local chapters. We've had a lot of new chapters launched this year, and chapters are getting back out and educating. So that's a great thing. So we're very thrilled with the direction with these three pillars: educate, advocate, and elevate. And again, we're here today to concentrate on educate through the CPO program. And I get to introduce Wayne Ivasich, who is here with us. He's the chairman of the CPO Advisory Council. I don't think Tony is joining us today. I think he's on the other side of the world, but he is our vice chair. And I'll turn it over to Wayne.
Thank you, Jeannie. Hi, guys and gals. Glad you were able to take some time out of your day, like Jeannie mentioned, to spend it with us as we go over some of the programs and ideas and steps we've been taking over the past year and in the future to help improve the programs. If go to the next slide, please. Thank you. These are just some of the people who are on the CPO Advisory Council. They represent a pretty diverse backgrounds for each person. So it's not just one thing, not just building. It could be a lot of different things. I can go to the next slide, please, Justin. These are the last few guys on there. But one of the first things I wanted to go over was, first of all, what's the purpose of the CPO Advisory Council? And if you want to go to the next slide, Justin, that would be great. The purpose is that the council is your voice box as far as what you want the program to be, what improvements you would like to see, any changes, things of that nature. We're here as a group to go over these ideas and concepts and from everybody to see how best they could fit into the program. And I can tell you, I've been on the council since it started, and it was almost an impossible task at the very beginning, because one of the things we had to do was revamp the manual and the PowerPoints and some of the online courses kind of all at the same time. And it was a little bit of a headache, and I lost so much hair over it, but that's an ongoing thing. But what I specifically wanted to do with the goals that we're looking at for the next year and possibly even further than that, and the biggest one actually is to get the certifications out there. We'd like to reach at least 40,500 new CPOs in 2024. That is a lofty goal, and it would exceed, as we pointed out here, what our highest was back in 2019. That is a lofty goal, and we can actually achieve that goal easily through your courses that you bring into the program. So keep on doing what you do. We appreciate that. The next goal is that we're launching the brand new, I like the emphasis, POP course, and actually Natalie's going to talk a little bit more in detail about that later on this afternoon. We're going to be helping all of the instructors. We're going to take them by the hand and very gently show them how to use the portal for the most efficient and best way to turn around information on the students and to get their certificates out there. And I am old school, so technology only works when it works. And so I was a little bit reluctant at first to deal with the portal, but I've learned to love the portal. Maybe we should get T-shirts. I love the portal, but with help through the website and the staff and people like Natalie at headquarters, they'll be able to guide instructors, particularly the new instructors, on how to use that portal to improve efficiency in any kind of organization we have for the program itself. Specifically, keeping records of students, getting out certifications, answering questions from students and instructors. So that portal is vital. If you could go to the next slide, Justin, please, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Additionally, we're going to do our best to partner with our existing instructors, and we have here to expand the reach of CPO. And what does that really mean? And well, actually, when we're looking at expansion, we're looking into getting into areas where there is no CPO certification. And I'm not just talking about, the states that don't have it in their code. I'm talking about, internationally, expanding the reach that that we can get to provide this kind of education. And it's important to do this because, our whole goal, of course, is healthy environments, healthy water, safe water for users. And that's anywhere. That's not just here in the States. And we want to be able to provide appropriate education courses and certification courses to allow that kind of instruction to get out to everybody, to show that, yeah, one, we know what we're doing, and two, is this is the best way to do it. And this is the most efficient way to do it, most cost effective. We're also going to be launching a newsletter that will come out quarterly for all instructors. And this newsletter, in conjunction with myself and Amy Willer and her team, to give you information about the program and some of the instructors and what they're doing. For example, some of the things we're going to be talking about in the very first newsletter would be things like, because the season's opening up for a lot of us, seasonal opening checklists. We're going to be talking about water balance in the newsletter. That's a little bit of a hot topic of recent discussion. As far as, which one do we follow? We're going to have a discussion about that. We're going to be talking about things like air quality. We're going to have a little Q&A session with our 2023 Instructor of the Year, David Turnage. I don't know if you know David. David, I don't even know if you're on, but you're going to be featured in that one if you didn't know already. And then my favorite section of the newsletter will be the horror stories. These are the little things that you encounter while servicing your pools. And I'm not talking necessarily about snakes and raccoons and other critters that you find in the skimmer baskets, but just your general horror stories that you can share with everybody. We can share with everybody. We're going to be talking about job opportunities in different areas of aquatics that you can pass on to people that you think might have an interest in getting in touch with that particular aspect and maybe expanding their knowledge and just their work background. We're also going to go and talk about how do you become a CPO instructor? What's the process? How does that work? A number of us, right? I think 3 of us on the advisory council are also members of the PHTA assessment committee. So we're the evil people that approved that taught taught a lot of you guys over the years. What's the process? Is there an interest maybe in doing something like that? And that's going to be in there on how to do it, plus some other topics that we're going to be talking about, different thoughts and ideas. And of course, if you all have any suggestions to add to the upcoming newsletters, that's great. That's wonderful. You can contact myself. My email address is wivusich@comcast.net. And Amy's is A Willer. A is an apple, WILLER @phta.org. And if you have not written them down and you've totally forgotten what I just said, contact Natalie. She can get a hold of us and then direct anything to either one of us that you might have. Let's see. Justin, can you advance, please? Okay. Some of the other things that we're going to be addressing, anytime you as an instructor find an error in either the PowerPoint or the manual, it is critically important that you contact us. Initially contact Natalie, and then she'll in turn get a hold of us on the council, because the manual is a living, breathing document, and there's always going to be changes. And because we're human beings make mistakes sometimes. And I know for a fact that as soon as the current edition came out, we already found some errors. that we either missed or we didn't really pay attention to earlier. But because it's a living, breathing document, we any changes that you suggest or any errors you might find, it's critically important that you let us know, because we want this to be as up to date a program as is humanly possible. Okay, and we can't do that unless we have your help. So anything, give us a call, and or contact us, and we will definitely take a look at it. There's going to be something of an update in talked about in the newsletter, but something that's going to be more expanded on is the water balance fact sheet. Because of the variations in how water balance is determined and how the different types of water balance calculators are out there, we felt it was necessary to address that. And along with the Recreational Water Committee, we have updated the water balance fact sheet, and that will be available on the website. I'm not exactly sure where, or even if it's up quite yet. Natalie can get into that one later on. And of course, the CPO newsletter, like I rambled on about a moment ago, is going to be quarterly. Next slide, please. Thank you. With that newsletter, and I just want to emphasize some of the points. You're going to get it quarterly, okay? You're going to be getting that first edition sometime in April, and every instructor will get a copy of each one. There's going to be additional marketing materials available in Q2, which begins in a few days, that are associated with the new edition of the manual coming out. In fact, it's being printed right now. And again, the information that's in the new manual is pretty much the same as the current edition. There are some updates to it, some additions to it. The exams won't change, but there'll be new information and updated as we get it. If you could advance one, please, Justin. Thank you. So jumping back to that water balance fact sheet, and I know I've talked about it a couple times already, probably too much, but this is really something important that's coming down in the industry of late. And we all felt that it was necessary for the Recreational Water and Air Quality Committee come out with an official quote stance on what we feel are the best practices involved in, what is water balance, how do you calculate it, how do you interpret water balance, because you can come up with the number, but what do you do with it? And if you don't know what to do with it, that's a whole nother issue to deal with. But the fact sheet will help you clear your mind and help you get a good working knowledge of what we're talking about with water balance and how to convey that along to your students. And as we say here in the last bullet, it's going to be available on the instructor materials page. I don't know if it's there yet or not. Natalie can probably give more highlight on that one, but that's where it will be located for you to download. If you could advance one, please. And that is what the new edition of the manual is going to look like. And you'll see it also in French and in Spanish. The English and Spanish volumes are available, are shipping now. For those of you who deal with the French version, that's going to be available approximately mid-April. But they are available now, and we really like the new cover and the information inside there, some of the photos and things. So that's what they will look like. And again, there are no changes to the exam. So the templates that you have, the key templates, they are not changing at all. They are still the same. You won't have to go through the expense of having to create them and having to buy a new set. Let's see. I think that's all I really have to say. I've rambled on long enough. I'm going to turn it over to Natalie now, who I am probably embarrassed by making her try to look up information, as I was saying Natalie knows this, but here's Natalie.
Thank you, Wayne. And real quickly, before I get into my slides, we did want to launch a poll And so we will give you about 10 to 15 seconds. There are 2 questions. And so Justin, if you wouldn't mind launching the first one, that would be wonderful.
You guys should all see a simple yes/no selection on your screen. I apologize, there's a little bit of construction going on in the background while I'm unmuted if you hear it. Just select yes or no to the question. Would you likely attend the World Aquatic Health Conference if it was moved to January?
As you're voting, I just want to say thank you for taking the time. It is important for us to get the feedback so we can make decisions, informed decisions as we move forward.
We have 84% voted. I'll give you guys another couple seconds if you haven't selected. All right. I have closed that poll. And Natalie, would you like me to send the second poll now or wait?
Yes, please.
Okay, you guys are gonna have one more yes/no question pop up on your screen. Do you feel hard copy CPO certificates and wallet cards are necessary since the PHTA is providing a link to download digital copies? So again, we'll give you guys just about a minute to quickly fill this out with a yes or a no. I'll take this time to mention that at the end of the presentation, we will be taking some questions from the question boxes. If you do have something you would like asked of the group at the end, please submit your question through the questions section, and I'll be reading through some of those at the end. Awesome. Another 10 seconds. We'll close this one out. We have 93% participation. Thank you so much. And all set, Natalie. That poll has been closed as well.
Thank you. And again, thank you guys for your participation. We are definitely eager to see your results. So Justin, go ahead and go to the next slide. All right, so Wayne had mentioned the launch. We are looking at launching the pool operator primer course. A couple things. So before we launch in April, Justin or Wade, I'm going to ask you guys to mute yourselves. Thank you. Before we launch, I will make sure to send a note to the community of instructors to say, hey, we're going to launch this date, which means, so let's say we launch April 15th, right? So we'll send you a note, try and give you about a week's notice. We're going to give you a breakdown of what this new course looks like. Again, I'm going to go over that a little bit here today. But once we launch that new course, all of the students that you put in through the portal, they're going to be pushed to that new course, okay? And so, you know, if you've registered a student on the POP course previously, they're going to be with that old course, okay? And, you know, if you have any concerns, frustrations with students that have already been previously loaded, and then you're going in and adding new students to the course, just reach out to me. Let's talk through it. But, you know, so, and I'm going to have Justin kind of piggyback in case I miss anything, but some things that you can expect. So the new POP course, so the current one is about 8 modules, right? At the end of each module, there is a quiz. The new POP course, and Justin, correct me if I'm wrong, but it has 18 modules now, okay? There are shorter videos, and the videos are a lot more friendly to your students. So I think right now, one of the modules might be 49 minutes. The new videos are actually, you know, some might be 2 or 3 minutes in a module, and there's going to be numerous videos. Some might be 6. So that way students aren't getting stuck in those videos, right? So if their computer times out or if they're having network issues, it's just focused on that one section of that lesson, if you will. Some other things that are really excited is that it is now ADA compliant. So there is going to be a script at the bottom. That's not something that we have with the current POP course. There are going to be short knowledge checks at the end of each chapter or module. The first attempt, so let's say you pass the first time, you're able to move on to the next module. If you don't pass, you're given hints and are recommended to go back through that module and review. By the third attempt, if you still haven't gotten it, you can actually, you'll be given the answers and then you'll be able to move on. Okay, another thing is at the end of the POP course, there is going to be an accumulative exam so that if they don't pass, there is going to be a recommendation to review, but they are not required to go back through the lessons that they, where they might have missed on the exam. They can take the exam as many times, but they are not able to move forward until they have passed that exam. And the other thing too is the record of completion will look the same as it does now. So there's not going to be any concern that a student might walk away and think, oh, well, here's my CPO certificate, okay? So we will be launching that again sometime next month. The next thing on the docket is to really look at English metrics, Spanish, and French. And Justin, before we move to the next slide, I wanted to see if there's anything I might have missed.
No, Natalie, you did a wonderful job explaining it. You know, a lot of the feedback we heard from students as instructors was that the organization with the modules grouping together different sections of the book was getting a little confusing. So we did separate it out to be a module for each chapter touching on specific information. You're right, there were knowledge checks at the end of every chapter that there will be assistance on if failed the first time or two. They will have to complete a quiz at the end. As Natalie said, it does not function like current courses where it goes back and locks the sections that you failed and you need to rewatch that whole section again, but it will point to where they should go review before they try to take that exam again.
Yeah, awesome. So go ahead and go to the next slide. And Justin was kind to show us 3 snapshots of a preview. And so here, again, it gives you kind of an idea. This is chapter 1. This is a knowledge check, okay? And you can see over here, even on the left-hand side, the different sections of a chapter. Okay. Again, here is a quick preview. And you'll see down below, this video is almost, towards the middle or so. And it's already at minute 12. So this looks to be about 3 minutes or so. So the videos are much shorter.
Yeah, the longest videos I think we have up there are about 6.5 minutes. Also want to note that on the top, you see where the page numbers are. So the students are able to follow along in their book very easily. The page numbers will always be listed on top. And what was cut off the bottom was the script that is being read by the voiceover during the video. Just the window is too big to fit in the wonderful window we have here.
We'll do one more. And again, here is another snapshot. And the other thing too, I wanted to say, we have a male and female voice throughout the English Imperial, and we will do the same for the other, the Spanish and the metrics and the French. Okay, so it's really exciting. And again, thank you to Justin and to those that assisted Justin in putting this together. This was a very large project. Some of those on the advisory council have listened to it, and again, those that were helping Justin. But again, huge shout out to Justin Ivy, because this was a large project. It took a lot of time, it took a lot of resources, and I'm really excited for you guys to listen to it. It's really great. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the instructor portal. A couple things, just wanted to give you some general reminders. When you're submitting your course, you cannot backdate your course, okay? So if you have a course that's up and coming, post it. If you're not sure if it's going to be private or public, you can kind of wait a bit. But if you have a course that's upcoming, it's going to be private, post it, okay? If you need to change your course date around, certainly let us know. We can assist you, because let's say you had a class yesterday and then you need to go in and upload that class, upload your students. You're not going to be able to backdate. You'll have to reach out to one of our team members in the certification department, okay? One thing that is exciting is we have now, when you're submitting your in-person exams, you can now also submit your course evaluations, okay? It's a box that's right below, it's optional, but again, if you do have those paper evaluations and you're going to be submitting them to PHTA, I do ask that you submit them through the portal, okay? You are still not able to edit your students. Again, if you make an error or if a student, they provided you incorrect information, let our certification team know. We will address and go through. That is a goal of ours, to be able to have you be able to edit your students, but because it goes through different APIs, we just want to make sure before we launch something, it's going to work right for all of the parties involved, okay? We did, in our recent March instructor newsletter, we talked about the one-day certification class posting. Again, this is only for students that hold a active CPO certification. So this can be delivered in person, it can be delivered virtually. Again, if it's done virtually, just make sure it is approved. If you are teaching virtual courses for our other service pathway programs, you can also post courses, you can post them again in person, you can post them virtually. And the really exciting thing too is you can now register your students for those exams with a third-party proctor. Before, if you were to teach a class, they would have to go through an application with PHTA, but now they can actually be proctored by you. Same process. Once they pass the exam, they will receive an immediate copy of their digital certificate and wallet card, and you're done. If you're teaching in person, I do ask that you purchase, and you're going to be administering the exam in Scantron, which I highly recommend. You can purchase the exam in Scantron on your instructor materials page. It is $85. This covers the administrative fees, the exam in Scantron, as well as the certification packet that your student does receive. And again, each one of your students, whether they're CPO or they're one of the service pathway courses, they will receive a digital badge that they can display. Okay. The other thing I wanted to just briefly bring up was co-teaching. I know right now, if you are co-teaching with another instructor, you have to reach out to me so I can make sure you do get credit. I am hopeful in the next week or so that there will be an option when you are submitting your course that you will also be able to list other instructors that are that have co-taught with you. And again, when we talk about co-teaching, all of the instructors, so if there's going to be 3 of you, all 3 of you need to be there for the full duration of the course, okay? You will only have one of the instructor's name on the certificate, but again, we will be able to give all 3 of you credit, okay? Next slide. Something exciting we wanted to share with the community as we are putting together a service instructor school, okay? So if you are a CPO instructor, and clearly you are, that you're not all here, CPO instructors, but for those of you that are looking at expanding your education profile, by all means, reach out to me. You've already gone through an instructor school, and we do have a process in place. But for those that aren't CPO certified, they've been in the industry for years, and they would like to teach CMS or CST, we are putting together a service instructor school. So we are hoping to finalize content and format by the end of this year, and are looking at a launch of Q1 of next year, still deciding on the location. Goal is about 20 candidates, and we are putting together a service assessment proctor team. And so if you are interested in being on this team, by all means, please reach out to me, and I would love to talk through this with you. Again, just a quick reminder, if you would like to expand your profile, definitely reach out to me and let's see if it's a good fit. Thank you. So another thing, when you're submitting feedback on programs, again, we do have on your materials page a course form. I do receive those. I receive an email. I did receive a few from a couple different instructors. Make sure with this form you're not submitting portal request changes, or excuse me, student changes on the portal. You're not submitting your orders because it might be a bit till that order gets filled. This is just for the program, and I really encourage you to use this form as we launch the new POP course. This will be a great way for us to share feedback with Justin and amongst the council. Okay, so again, that is available on your instructor materials page. And we've already gone through this poll, so I think now, Justin, we are at a point where we can open to questions. The only thing I was going to say, thank you, Amy. So the new fact sheet is available. It's going to be under standards, the standards and codes tab, and she is adding it to the instructor page now. We will also have that version in Spanish, I would say probably by tomorrow.
Wonderful. We had a couple questions come through the chat that are worthy of group discussion. I believe the first one that popped up in here is the 2024 new CPO book available in the online format, such as the old book?
Yes, Amy was so kind to actually recently launch it yesterday. Yes, so it is available as well as the Spanish handbook, and once the French is officially shipping, we will also have the French handbook up there as well.
I will note that it is a different URL link than the other book. So if you do send that out in your communications to your students before or after classes, it would be worthwhile to update that email template with the new link. Somebody is wondering if all instructors will be given access to the new pool operator primer course so they can see what students are experiencing going through it.
I think that's a great idea. Justin, I'll probably defer to you and Jeannie. I will say we will be providing you an outline of what the new POP course looks like, and we'll also have to go back and do a quick review of what we're providing now. But again, I will talk it over with Justin and Jeannie, and then we can circle back.
Absolutely. If it is something you're interested in seeing, an email out to us would help us put you on the list. We're happy to be around 700 instructors worldwide, and loading that into everybody's if they're not going to use it is a stretch. So if it is definitely something you'd like to see, I'm sure we can start a list going through email. A little bit of a question on the third-party proctoring. Because of the CMS, CST, CPI courses being added in and not needing to use a third-party proctor, is there any payment from PHTA to the instructor for proctoring those exams?
So right now, if you're an authorized CMS or CST instructor, you are eligible to proctor those exams. However, you are not able to grade them. So that is not an option right now. I think that might be what you're asking. If that is, go ahead and reach out to me offline. But that is not an available option right now for the other service programs, only for CPO.
Natalie, is there any update on the third-party proctoring requirement for Florida?
I am hopeful to have an update very soon, but we are still working on it. There are still things going on in the background, but I do not have an update today.
Thank you. In a class set up with co-teachers, will those co-teachers be able to log into the portal and view the student roster, or is that still only the original instructor that will be able to see that?
That is only the instructor that submits that through their portal. We do not have a company portal set up as of right now, but I do know that it is on the wish list.
The old 2022 version of the CPO book is still on issue where it was parked before. I do not think anybody from the PHTA office has reached out to have that removed yet.
I'll have to connect with Amy. I do know that we did upload the 2024 version, and it might just be that we need to remove the 2022 version, but I will circle back with Amy.
Yeah, we have the request to keep it up for a little while, just for the mixed books and things that we have going on right now.
Okay, so
there's a call to hopefully not remove it for a little bit, have it live up there for a little longer.
I will look into that with Miss Amy.
The CPO book link, is that found under the instructor resources? We have a lot of instructors asking if they can get that new link.
We normally do put it on the instructor materials page. It should be there now. I'm actually pulling up as we speak. If it is not, I will again circle back with Amy and ask her to get that posted.
Wonderful. 2022. Hey, 2024 CPO instructor certificates. We have a couple questions asking when the instructors can expect to receive those.
If you have not received your instructor certificate, send a note to me so I can look into it. And again, this is one of the biggest reasons why we were also wondering how important it is to you to send students the hard copy certificates, because it's very common that they get returned, they get lost in the mail. But if you have reauthorized, which I hope you have if you're on this call, send me a note and I can send you a digital copy in the meantime. I just wanted to say too, the 2024 handbook is up on your instructor materials page under ebook.
I think the last question that came in for the group is, do we have a list of teachers that are interested in co-teaching, or somewhere that other instructors can find other instructors that would be interested in co-teaching?
I don't have an official list, but I do know of quite a few instructors that are willing to co-teach, especially, as you are, beginning your career as an instructor. I can certainly share with you some others that I feel would be appropriate to work with.
Great. That seems to be all the questions that were for the group. Again, those of you that asked questions that may have been specific to an area or just something personal for Natalie, those will be passed along. We do export all of these questions at the end and all of the comments and make sure that Natalie gets them all. Again, I apologize for a little bit of the disruption in the background. I'm in a large, empty, open room with some construction on the roof. But we thank you all for being here. And Natalie, do we have anything else?
No, again, from what Justin said, thank you all for taking the time. I know we're officially in busy season and you guys have very busy schedules. So this recorded meeting will go out in a couple days with notes. And again, Justin did say for any questions we didn't answer, I will be able to see those and I will respond to you accordingly. Jeannie, did you want to add anything before we hop off?
No, thank you so much. Again, a lot of information thrown at you. We're always here for questions and appreciate all that you do. And onward.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful evening. We will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.